Hello, my name is Carol Pollard and I'm an architect. I teach at the School of Architecture, Building and Environment at TU Dublin. Since I joined the teaching staff there in 2017, I've seen a steady worsening of student housing, so much so that I wonder how bad it has to get before it gets called out for what it really is, the single greatest impediment to further education in Ireland at the present time. I know several students who've had to defer a place in university or suspend their studies in the hope that they could return at a later date because they were unable to secure housing. Their stories are remarkably similar. What starts out as a fun quest to share housing with friends spirals down to solo searches for digs, to the final realization that a couch in the home of a distant relative or a daily 3-hour each-way commute are the only options left. Others decide to take a year out in the hope of saving money to be able to afford accommodation the following year. But we all now know how precarious that can be. To secure a job that allows enough money to be saved, to bank on the fact that you will eventually find a place to stay, never mind that cost, to be in the right frame of mind to return to college after all your classmates have moved on. As a director of the Irish Architects Benevolent Society, I've been involved in the rollout of student mental health workshops at the schools of architecture. These commenced during COVID, when many students were struggling with adapting to online learning and the isolation brought on by serial lockdowns. At the most recent workshops held last month, housing, or the lack of, was raised as one of the main issues affecting student performance. So what are the possible solutions to the student housing crisis? My thoughts are, firstly, government should enable and support colleges and universities to build accommodation on their own sites. Each university or college should be obliged to offer a percentage of housing units depending on their admission rates. The universities should retain ownership and management of their housing facilities so that they can control capacity and, more importantly, control cost. Secondly, all student accommodation providers should be registered with an appropriate agency, including those that operate in the private sector, to ensure minimum standards and to apply a standard cost band, perhaps based on square meter rates across different types of accommodation: studio apartments, shared living units, standard apartments, house shares, etc. Owners could be incentivized through tax relief on income for providing that housing. And those that do not comply with the quality and cost standards would not receive any tax relief, including student housing companies who charge extortionate amounts and are only affordable by and large to international students. I believe also that in order to quantify the problem of student housing, universities and colleges should compile statistics that feed into the future provision of housing for students. Simple records like where every student is living, how much rent they are paying, how far they are commuting, how much money that commute is costing, and how many hours are sitting in a car, bus, or train every day. Frankly, housing crisis is a worn-out term in Ireland. Anyone who's studied the topic knows that we have lunged from one housing crisis to another for the past 100 years. In historical terms, student housing is a relatively new phenomenon, however. The 2016 census revealed that 56% of people up to the age of 39 possessed a third level qualification, in comparison to only 19% of those aged 65 plus. This means that 3 times as many people are going to third level education now than in the 1980s. But where is the housing to support that? In seeking foreign direct investment in Ireland, the Irish government promotes the fact that the country ranks third in the OECD for the rate of third level education attainment. It is beyond time that the government align its strategic goals for educational attainment with the provision of housing that is fundamental to sustain that attainment. So that's my thoughts for today. Thank you to Robin Mandel for asking me to take part in the workshop. I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person, and I hope you have a very productive and informative day. Thank you.